interesting just to hear some of his points, and we will be jumping into our next game now, which is Swagvicious versus Nottingham A. So straight away we're going into this screen. Lee Sin banned out straight away. Now Ganked by Dong plays a lot of Lee Sin, so does their top laner. So I can understand that Lee Sin pick there is very, very influential in the game. Shyvana on the other side, as we've just been talking about in that interview, Shyvana very, very strong at the moment. The Ahri then coming out on the other side from Swagvicious. Their mid laner for Nottingham plays a lot of Ahri, so that explains that one. And that Rengar as well. Ganked by Dong's most played champion is Rengar. I'll let you in on a little secret. He basically played it because he abused it to climb up in Elo. So he doesn't play it in the jungle a lot. However, he is very good on it, and it is a good ban against him. The Gregus and Kassadin coming down as well. So a lot of the mid champions we used to see have been banned away here.
Yep, and I mean, not a conventional assassin in terms of that mid assassin, but the Rengar with his triple Q can just bring down your AD carry straight away. So always scary when someone knows how to play him well. Ezreal being locked in here for sorry, which teams? For Nottingham right there, and then Renekton and Thresh being picked up on the opposite side. So some really strong conventional picks.
Yeah, Swagvicious picking up the Ezreal, and we see Nottingham picking up the Renekton and Thresh. Now I know the support on Nottingham main's AD carry, but he plays a lot of support. We've seen him on Thresh in a few games last season when they were streamed, and he was very strong on that. Techno plays a lot of Renekton. Again, in that interview, Renekton's a very, very solid top laner in any matchup. And on the other side, that Nocturne and the Janna support coming down. Janna, very strong, but not a support we see all the time. There's some stronger presence in lane that we get, but you know, the Janna and the Nocturne, they're both very strong picks.
Yep, and I've really taken kindly to the Nocturne recently. A good friend picked me up a mystery skin, and actually I was lucky enough to get the legendary Nocturne skin, which has made me play it lots and lots. I've been playing him in this assassin role, which he does so well. A lot of people actually picking up the Blade of the Ruin King on him early now, and it's really tricky to escape if you play that AD carry. Corki being locked in here, which is a great pick versus the Nocturne, obviously with a really strong reposition, and it's going to be pretty hard to catch up with him if he opts to build that Triforce, which I'm sure he will. Yeah,
and we actually seen Olaf locked in for the jungle, which I'm super excited about. At the end season 2, pre-season, I loved Olaf. He was one of my favourite champions in the game. Instaport the Brolaf skin just before they nerfed him into the floor, unfortunately. But someone I'm really excited to see again, obviously with the changes to his entire kit the last few patches. They helped him out a bit, but they didn't see a big increase. And for some reason in the last patch, they tweaked him a little bit more, and he's been re-emerging again. So really excited to see how that pans out in the jungle. On the other side, we see Riven been locked in. Very, very strong champion. And an Orianna in the mid lane. And as you said, that Orianna seems to be the solid go-to pick. If not for the assassins, then that Orianna sort of fits into any team comp and is a very, very strong laner.
Yep, and obviously the Nocturne, the perfect ball delivery system right there. Can't be CC'd through that Nocturne ult, so you can get straight into the middle of the team, followed by the shockwave from the Orianna, and it can be absolutely devastating, especially with the follow-up from the Riven. If enough damage is brought down, obviously the damage scaling off how little health they have remaining on the Riven, so she can actually do huge amounts of AoE damage. The LeBlanc being locked in here, which is a really good, strong pick versus the Orianna. The shield, going to dissipate some of that damage from the LeBlanc, and she's picked up the barrier to avoid that early aggression, but she's just devastating if played right, the LeBlanc.
Definitely. As there was an interview actually with Hai from Cloud9 that I was reading on Reddit, in which he talked about LeBlanc quite extensively and said how he expects her to be very strong in Season 4, but her roam potential and her pure 1v1 potential are very strong. He said it's not a champion that he thinks he'll be seeing a lot of in general. Like when we saw Ahri come out, everyone was picking up Ahri. If you hadn't played Ahri before, you'd learn Ahri because of how strong she was. With LeBlanc, he doesn't think that would happen, but the people that do play LeBlanc a lot and have high mechanics with her will be extremely good with her. And I know that the mid laner on Nottingham, Artesh, does actually play a bit of LeBlanc, so very excited to see what sort of plays he can do with that champion. Not the easiest comp to go against with the Riven and the Orianna having his shield and the skills, but if he can get that full combo and melt someone down, we're very looking forward to seeing that happen.
Yeah, exactly, and you know, the LeBlanc in general, he's just always feared. You know, she's counter to most AP mid laners apart from Fizz, and I know for a fact that my brother plays her to the extent where there's very little you can do against her, especially if she gets even one kill lead. She just snowballs so well, and she's hard to gank, especially with the Nocturne. You know, conventional jungler perhaps has that one stun that locks them up straight away. Nocturne relies on them being stationary or near him for 3 seconds, so the fact that the LeBlanc can just jump away it's going to make her very hard to close down in this fight. I mean, in terms of the bot lane, we see the Ezreal and the Janna versus the Thresh and the Corki. I really favour the Thresh and the Corki here. There's so much aggression that I just don't know how much the Janna can sustain in that lane.
I agree. Just want to quickly point out with that bot lane as well, the Rack19, who's usually the support, with Danexo being the AD carry. Obviously, you've said Danexo isn't here today, so Skypio, I'm not too sure how he pronounces it, is filling in for him. We do actually see a Rack19 going to AD carry, so as I pointed out, he does play AD carry as a main, but he plays support in the team. So he has actually moved over to the carry position, and they're going to have the support subbing in. So although they are moving around on roles, it is still a role that they do enjoy playing and that they play a lot of. So I don't think this will necessarily hinder them as much as a normal sub would. If anything, this may add, you know, that he may have a different play style to Danex, so they may let them do things that they don't normally do. We may see a different side of Nottingham here. So I'm really excited to see how this game goes. But in that bot lane, I completely agree with you. The Thresh and the Corki, they're very, very mobile. They have very good potential for trading, for all-ins and for disengages. Janna, she's a decent support still. She's very good. Obviously, the shield, both for the shield and the attack damage, it lets her be both defensive and aggressive at the same time. And Tornado's very, very strong, and her ultimate as well. But it's not somebody that, it's not a support that you can really get in the face of your enemy for or make them fear. It's rather someone that sits on the back line, waits for them to make a mistake, and then takes advantage of that. So we will have to see how they play here. Do you think we'll be seeing any level 1s from these teams with these compositions, or do you think we'll just see another safe start?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised with the Thresh if Swag decide to invade right here. Nottingham, I was right the first time. Sorry, I do apologise. If Nottingham decide to invade here, you never know when, as I say from the last game, if you're coming in with a new team, how they choose to play. Swag actually probably one of the more mobile out of the more aggressive out of the teams. Sorry, I'm a bit confused here. I think I'm having the same issues that we've had in previous week, that someone hasn't actually checked the spectator allowed box, meaning I can't join the game. So I don't know what we're going to do about that.
Oh god. You can't join the game?
Not currently though.
Right, okay, well fingers crossed we're able to sort that out once we jump into the game. If not, it will be something that we'll have to fix here. But yeah, these team compositions, I think they'll just have to see if they pan out, especially that top lane, Renekton against Riven. That's one that I'm curious to see. So let's just see if you can jump into the game now. We are just getting into the game. Can you join yet?
Let me.
Is a pause going down?
I believe not. No. I think they've started it without the spectator option, which is a bit of an issue right here. I can just cut a cast, and you can do the majority of the play-by-play if that's okay.
Well, we will see what's going to happen here. Do see a few pauses coming down, so I think they are trying to sort it all out. But in the meantime, these compositions, obviously what we were talking about here, I'm curious to see, the main one that I want to see, the matchup here, is that mid, the Artesh against the Orianna. I really want to see Artesh make some plays there. on the LeBlanc. If not, she's very, very dependent on the kills, on the early plays. If she doesn't get them kills early on, then not as strong late game at all, and she does fall off quite a bit, which is why we didn't see her played a lot. The Corki with the Triforce, since the nerfs, he hasn't been as dominant as he was a few patches ago, but he is still very strong in my opinion, especially with Thresh. But other than that, I'm just want to see what happens at level 1 here. There is still a pause going on, so we will have a look what's going on at the moment.
Yeah, potentially a remake. If I want to be able to view this game, but obviously I don't want to hinder their team at all. If they're still stuck in the initial stage, I'd potentially push for that right here. But as you said, you know, you don't know how either of these teams weigh up against each other. Neither's faced each other, especially in the sense that we've been able to view it. So sort of mechanical and skill matchup between the two teams, it's going to be really interesting whether they're quite equally matched. Swagvicious obviously came second in last split, so
yeah, a
really strong team in their own right. But you knowing Nottingham personally, I think they're quite a strong team as well, so it's going to be really interesting to see how they weigh up against each other.
Okay, it does look like they are going to unpause and resume the game here. But yeah, the main difference, as I said here, that's going to happen is that bot lane. Iraq 19 usually plays the support, so with them and the sub being on support, they will be the ones that haven't practiced. They haven't had these games in 5v5s. I know that Nottingham have been playing a lot of 5v5s as a team and practicing, but obviously with the Nexo out and with that sub in playing different roles, the other lanes will be as normal, but we will have to see how that goes. So right now, it does look like Swagvicious are grouped up, all heading towards their red buff at the bot lane, and it looks like Nottingham are grouping up, heading towards the same direction. They are going to camp in the bush here, so if Nottingham do choose to invade, it would be lights out for whoever's first of that way there, but doesn't look like they're going to. Just going to play it quite safe here, just going to sit around the mid lane. As I say that, Thresh and Renekton do join in, so may possibly be looking for some aggression, but at the moment it seems like most teams favouring the safe option.
Yeah, and that's fully fair enough, you know, if you don't...
They are actually going to face check here, sorry. They do take a little bit of poke, but both teams know that they're waiting there, so they are going to back out. Swagvicious has got a ward in the brush by red, so they do know if they're going to come back into invade, but Nottingham do not want any of it. So again, they're both just going to back off this and just going to take their buff safely.
Yeah, you know, it's fair enough if you don't know how each team play, just to play it safe in the first few minutes. You don't want to throw away something that you potentially could have won, or at least not knowing would be really frustrating. So both teams playing it safe. You always want to try and get that initial pick with the Thresh. Obviously the hook so strong, as is the Blitzcrank hook, but both no doubt look for the level 3 gank right here.
Definitely, the Janna actually missing the tornado for the leash there, just did it a little bit too early, so won't be getting as good a leash as they wanted, but it won't make that much of a difference, so she will just go to lane with a little bit less mana. The blue being picked up first by Olaf, obviously Nocturne getting that red, and they're just going to go back to lanes now. Everyone's gone to their normal lane, so we don't see any sort of crazy lane swaps or anything here. I feel that Ezreal isn't going to have great ganking potential in a lot of these, sorry, not Ezreal, Nocturne. Isn't going to have great ganking potential early on in any of these lanes, purely because of how mobile they are. Renekton with the slice and dice, LeBlanc with the Dukes of her clones and the dashes. They're very hard lanes to gank. When he gets 6 and has that ultimate though, obviously he'll have a lot more potential.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, both junglers taking their buffs at similar time, and we're probably going to see a top clash in the top lane. The Riven and the Renekton matchup is actually quite a hard one to call. Both doing a really good job versus each other. Obviously both have a lot of aggressive damage, and we see the junglers simultaneously moving away from the buff here.
They're actually going to go in on top lane here. Olaf does come and get the slow on Riven. Ignite goes down, and the last tick will pick up the kill, so there is actually a kill in the top lane there, and that would be first blood to Nottingham. Huge advantage for them there. As we see this going to a close, LeBlanc is actually going to try and go in on Orianna. She does actually miss her ability and goes very weak there, so she's going to have to back off from that. But that's first blood for Nottingham A there, a great start for them.
Yeah, very, very good for there. You know, a lot of damage coming out from the Renekton and the Olaf, especially with that red buff. And it's very hard when you have no idea, not no idea, but you're not familiar with a certain jungle. The Olaf actually starts the Doran's Blade, so that's where a lot of his damage comes from. And that's
actually pick up another on his back as well.
Really strong build amongst junglers at the minute. If you have that lifesteal and get a great pull from the bottom lane, just to go straight for the Doran's Blade, because the amount of damage you kick out on that initial gank often means that you can secure.
We're going to see some action in mid as well now. Nocturne's coming in for the gank. He will get rooted by LeBlanc though, as Olaf does join the fight. They both have these double buffs, so there's going to be a lot of damage going down. The true damage from Olaf's actually been huge on Nocturne, but the shield will go down and they will all walk away alive. While that happens, bot lane is going to engage here. Janna does get the knock up on Corki, but it doesn't look like either of them want to over initiate at this point in the game and give away a kill, so that will start to normalise as well. LeBlanc is actually struggling a little bit in mid at the moment though. She hasn't been able to get any of them kills that she would have wanted to by this point.
Yeah, a lot of mid lane LeBlancs in fact say that if they can get an early kill for the level 6, fine, you know, you take it. However, it's at level 6 that your real dominance needs to come in and show. She doesn't quite have enough damage, you know, to burst pre-level 6 and get those surprise kills, but as soon as she reaches it, she has this potential just to turn around and destroy you. So not the end of the world right now if she's slightly behind, as long as she has enough farm to pick up a couple of items.
It's playing very risky there, going for the dash onto Orianna for the poke and getting away on only a few hundred health, so a little bit risky, but did get away. There wasn't a kill there, and on her back she will actually pick up just another Doran's ring and boots, so not getting any of the huge items yet, but it will give her a little bit more presence in the lane. But really she does need a kill fairly soon to start getting going. She's getting out CS'd and by 10 CS, so she does need something there to help her out a bit.
The nice thing is the fact that this Olaf has this early lead with the assist gold from the first blood. That means that he can potentially start showing some presence elsewhere on the map. And once he's roaming around,
goes in, onto Riven at the top there, but Nocturne comes from behind for the gank while he's overextended. To get the knock up onto him, you will drop below half health, but you will escape under the tower there, so he does get away alive, but nice bit of damage there coming in from the Nocturne, and that'll give Riven a lot more presence in that lane now. Renekton's going to have to play a lot more safely than he would. So we will see now going down towards the bot lane. They're both just trying here to zone out the other one. Thresh getting a little bit in the faces, but that Janna's just popping up the shields every now and again. Ezreal not really taking too much poke. We do see Olaf coming towards his top lane now as Renekton goes into the Riven. Riven does see it and just jump away though. LeBlanc again playing very risky here, going under the tower to try and harass Orianna. Takes a tower shot, just walks away from that one as well. So we do see both teams here not really wanting to overextend a lot, just playing quite safe.
Yeah, and you know, I said that the
as I say that, Ezreal does go in on bottom onto Corki. Corki taken onto a few hundred HP. Very low here, almost a kill there. Sorry to cut you off, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I was just about to mention the fact that Olaf, he's built that aggressive build, so he needs to make that pay off. You know, the Doran's Blade is early game economy, but as you get later into the game, if you don't make that beneficial, having to get rid of it straight away, you lose quite a bit of gold.
Definitely, and that is a point worth mentioning, especially since he went that double Doran's as well. One Doran's, some junglers would say, you know, you want to get a kill for if you go Doran's, which he got the kill, but he then invested into another Doran's, and he hasn't really made any other kills since, so something you definitely want to see start paying off. Both lanes now at the bot lane. Corki just backed, he's coming back to lane now, he's got his fade, so obviously he's starting to build up towards that Trinity Force. As you said, it's a very big power spike on the Corki, so starting to build towards that. Ezreal has got quite a lot of the CS lead here though, he's 20 CS ahead, so Corki's getting a little bit struggling in the bot lane there.
Yep, and that's going to mean that Ezreal can potentially afford the start of a Vampiric Scepter now. It's opted for boots, so he has the boots up on that Corky as well as a couple of health pots, meaning that it's going to have this sustained advantage right here. Nocturne has just hit level 6 and is going to head towards that top lane right now.
Definitely, yes. So now that Nocturne's got that level 6, gank's going to be very, very difficult against Nocturne. Obviously, you can't really see him coming, especially unless you've got the deep wards at bot, which they don't have at the moment. Renekton has actually put a deep ward at top lane, so that's quite smart by him there. But there is still places that Nocturne will be able to gank from without being seen. Ezreal is going for that Triforce as well, so we're seeing most Ezreals now going for the Triforce, so they both have got the phages started. They're starting to apply some pressure onto this bot tower now. So with them so overextended and Swagvicious at bot, you could see perhaps a gank from Olaf here soon. It would actually pay off quite a bit, but Nocturne is hovering about towards mid and bot lane at the moment as well, so we'll see if he pops that ultimate and does try and make a play soon.
Yeah, the only problem is, I mean, with an Olaf jungle is that you rely on the CC to really get.
Does ultimate, does go on to Artesh in mid lane. The Thea does land. Orianna misses her ultimate though, so Artesh will escape on that LeBlanc. Unfortunately, the ult from Orianna just missed out. Olaf did try and make a gank on bot lane, but the Janna shut him down, so it isn't much played. They will dive the LeBlanc here though, the bull doing a lot of damage onto LeBlanc. She is very weak, but again, she still hasn't died, and they've taken a lot of tower shots here. Olaf's actually going to come and try and pressure them away from the tower. Olaf's going straight onto Orianna, doing a lot of damage. Orianna having to do her barrier there. Nocturne is doing a lot of damage onto him, but Olaf's just running through, not really caring. So they're both, no kills picked up there, but a lot of spend on both teams for that engagement. Again in bot lane, Thresh with the flay onto Janna. Both of them are very, very weak at bot lane now. Ezreal might actually pick up the kill. He flashes, kills the Thresh. Corky's very low here. He needs to be very careful. He's going to actually stay and just CS a little bit. But that's actually the kill for both teams picked up there. Kill for Nottingham, sorry.
And just a bit aggressive from the Thresh, taking a lot of minion damage right there, as is playing too aggressive. Corky obviously is then pushed further behind Ezreal, almost 20 CS ahead, especially along with that kill. He's going to start being able to snowball that bottom lane as he starts to stack up the items that make up the Triforce right there.
Definitely. I mean, you see the gold lead now, they're even on kills, but there's only about 400 or 500 gold difference, but it does make quite a lot of difference, especially when it's on them AD carries. A 30 CS difference at the ADs now. So it isn't looking great for Corky, although he's played solidly in lane, but he's just struggled a little bit. So Olaf hasn't really gone down towards this bot lane at all this game. He's been concentrating more on that top and that mid. So they are struggling a little bit because of that. Renekton and Riven just trading quite a lot at top. Olaf is coming up and going for a lane gank though, but Riven's just going to back away from this. She's trading evenly with Renekton, so she doesn't want to commit too much there. Nocturne's just been covering mid, he's just backed now, and Corky and Thresh have to defend their tower because of the pressure that Ezreal is putting on. As you said, when he's this far ahead, it's going to start taking massive advantage of the fact there and just out-pressure them all over the map.
Yep, and I mean this Olaf, it's a very strange build. It's gone for obviously the early.
They do actually pop their ultimate. He does go for the gank at top, and Olaf will pick up the kill there. So he does actually do a nice play with them damage there. The true damage does a lot already, but Renekton got a really nice stun in the tower. Olaf picks up the kill there. Meanwhile, LeBlanc's actually going to go in on Orianna, ignites down. Orianna does use her ult and hits it this time, so we'll get a nice bit of damage down onto LeBlanc. She does land the root then, will kill Orianna, escaping with just a little bit of health, under 100 health there. So LeBlanc finally picking up a kill that's crucial for her. She's still getting out CS, but at least now she's got a bit of gold, so she can go back and get another item. Nocturne actually catching out Renekton while his recalls, but Renekton managed to get away from that. So what impact will that have? LeBlanc's managed to pick up a kill now, so hopefully that will help out a bit, right?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you start to pick up kills, even if it's just the one on LeBlanc, the snowball potential is huge. And you know, Orianna already has invested into magic resistance early, so if she's managing to kill her with that barrier and the magic resistance, imagine what's going to happen when that's taken away, and when LeBlanc potentially building Haunted Guys. No, she's got the Deathfire Grasp, I think, here, which again, she's going to do this huge burst, and it's going to be really hard for Orianna to survive through it, especially if the LeBlanc manages to dodge her ultimate.
even with that's on top of the passive Amara as well. Very hard lane opponent for LeBlanc, but LeBlanc picking up the kill there is very, very good for her. So even though she's getting out CS by a little bit, picking up the kill is going to be massive for her. Corki actually going very hard against this Ezreal in bot lane. Exhaust is burnt onto Corki. Ezreal took below half health here. Thresh will flay the Janna, but they'll both start backing away from this. Corki just being annoying with their missiles, taking Ezreal down a little bit weaker. But it doesn't look like they want to do too much here. The missile barrage again still being quite annoying, but they're both playing rather safe. Corki actually now going right in the face of Ezreal. The knockback does go onto him. He does get forced to use barrier. Thresh will pick up the kill on Ezreal. The box goes down. Janna will retreat to her tower, and we see Olaf coming bot now. So this leaves the potential for them to try and pressure bot tower or go straight to dragon. And it does look like Olaf's going towards that dragon now. In fact, he's just going to go into his jungle and play it a little bit safer. So they will just walk away with the kill there. So Corki actually managing to be part of the kill and getting a bit more gold at bot now.
Yeah, and that pushes the gold lead to 1.5k. Nothing too substantial, but Not's team actually looks really strong going into the late game with that Corki and the Renekton.
Renekton doing quite a lot of damage into tower for Riven, but Orianna's actually gonna roam top here. Renekton forced to use his ultimate. Orianna, Riven, and now Nocturne's joined, and that's 3 at top lane against Renekton. His ultimate fence away, and they're gonna go in on him now. He will go down. Orianna picks up that kill. So Orianna's actually picked up a kill now as well, which is gonna put her in a great position to start getting these items and becoming that really, really strong mid character.
Yeah, and while that was great that they managed to pick up a kill here, very beneficial, Renekton's actually really bullying this Riven.
The Nocturnal actually goes down, onto LeBlanc in the mid, but she will just flash away from that. So that is the Nocturnal burnt down for a little bit there, and she is going to struggle actually holding this tower against Orianna and Nocturne though.
Yeah, definitely. So lots and lots of kills being traded back and forth, and the gold switching between them. As I was about to say, a lot to play for between the two teams. No decisive lead being made yet, and I think there's going to be quite a bit of pressure going around this dragon right now. It's reached the 15-minute mark, and that's going to be really important to pick up another gold lead, which is going to make it substantial between the two.
Yes, we do see a little trade going in on bot. Thresh actually landing a hook onto Ezreal. Leaves Arcane Shift away, but he gets a nice bit of poke down onto Corki. Missile barrage going down for a little bit of damage, but it doesn't look like there's going to be a lot of things going there. Meanwhile though, Purple team have started doing the dragon, so Nottingham are going to do the dragon here. It doesn't look like Swagvicious are really in a position that they can contest, so Nottingham will walk away with this dragon. I was just about to say that the gold lead was, well, there wasn't a gold lead, it was dead even throughout this whole game, but that actually puts Nottingham 1k gold ahead now, so we are starting to see Nottingham peel away just a little bit in that gold lead.
Yeah, definitely, and the dragon at this stage in the game is quite key in order just to claim that extra gold. It also means that you can start to put them in tricky situations, burn a lot of summoners, force people to back, and start not only pressuring the secondary objects such as dragon.
So we will see LeBlanc actually going on to Orianna here, gets her just below half health, but we'll back away from that. But yes, definitely that pressure now they've got that bit of gold is going to be massive in this game, especially when it is so close. It's already gone back down to only 700-800 gold difference because of that CS lead on Swagvicious. So every single objective, every dragon, every turret is crucial in the game that is this close.
Yeah, the great thing from Nottingham's team right here is the fact that when you've got that LeBlanc, even if you don't manage to make a pick of a kill with the Corki poke, the potential Thresh catch with his hook, and then the Renekton and the Olaf have such a great turret dive potential, you really have to back off and sacrifice turrets. So if Nottingham choose to group fairly soon, they're perhaps waiting for this LeBlanc to pick up her Deathfire grasp in order to
you do actually see the LeBlanc taking the Fresh Lantern and going for a gank of bot lane. Ezreal has actually done a really nice juke by staying in the brush. They completely missed out on that. Corki's taken very weak. Ezreal's actually going to pick that up. That was really nice play from Ezreal there. He saw LeBlanc come in, he waited in the brush and actually juked that out to pick up a kill himself. So that's a 1-for-1 trade. Ezreal picking up a kill and LeBlanc picking up a kill. Really nice play from Ezreal on Swagvicious there.
Yeah, but an awful lot of summoner spells being burnt from that Ezreal. and it gives LeBlanc another kill, so that will be her death by grasp. Nocturne hovering in that top bush, so they're trying to close down this Renekton, as is doing a really good job of bullying this Riven. The Sunfire Cape, once that's up on Renekton, Riven actually has a really tough time against him.
Yes, definitely. As we've seen, there hasn't been much action in the top at all. There's been a bit, but we haven't seen them get involved in much other than staying in this top lane. Still, obviously, Renekton, as we've said in all the games that we've seen him in, very solid laner, very annoying. You can't go too aggressive on him, you can't play too safe. So, especially on a snowbally champ like Riven, who wants to get these kills early, she wants to have the potential to roam, get these big items, so she does a lot of damage. Very annoying lane opponent.
Yeah, definitely. Orianna actually just finished her Chalice of Harmony. Let's see what she's just about to build next. So she's gone for the Blasting one, possibly the Rabadon second in order to get that massive burst off. But if LeBlanc manages to make a kick on her, it's going to leave Swag very weak right here.
They do walk away with top tower there actually, so that's more gold there. Just over 1k gold ahead, just under 1.5k gold lead there, so we do see again Nottingham taking the lead in the gold.
Yeah, definitely. However, it's very clear that of Nottingham's plan right here. They want to roam, they want to get those picks and start taking the gold advantage with the turrets. Olaf, I don't know how well he does going into the late game.
They actually
now.
go in onto this in bot lane, sorry. Thresh gets a really nice hook onto Ezreal. Ezreal's dropped below half health. They will try and chase this with the missile barrage, but it looks like they will just try and walk away, wait for the shield to wear off and go back in once it's dead. Shield has gone down. Nocturne uses his ultimate though, goes straight onto Corki. Corki does get out of that fight. Thresh under half health. The Arcane Barrage comes down and actually picks up the kill on Thresh. So Swagvicious picking up a kill in that bot lane there.
And that's actually the second time that Thresh has gone a bit aggressive here. He doesn't quite have deep enough wall to expend that many cooldowns versus the Ezreal and Janna, especially with the amount of disengage that she offers. So he potentially should just wait for them to push onto this turret. The Ezreal's been pushing it up every time and turning it with the LeBlanc and Olaf if they try and dive or they advance too far if they push too far onto that turret.
Yeah, they seem very indecisive. Swagvicious just backing away from that. They know that this is a really close game. They don't want to take the risk of going under a tower knowing that the jungler and LeBlanc was both missing, so they'll just put a few pinks down, destroy a few wards, and they'll just walk away with that with one kill. Meanwhile, LeBlanc's been forced to defend mid quite hard here. Obviously Orianna's took the tower, so she's having to stay mid, not doing as much for him as she'd like to. Janna actually gets a knock up on Corki, and Ezreal does use his Arcane Shift to get in there, put quite a lot of damage onto him. Thresh is back in lane now though, so they will have to back away a little bit. And meanwhile we do see LeBlanc actually coming down with Nocturne to possible another fight at bot.
Yep, and both teams seem perfectly happy where they are.
Actually, sorry, turn around and go straight into Orianna. Orianna does use a roll onto LeBlanc. LeBlanc's took under half health, but Orianna's very, very weak. Renekton goes in with his slice and dice, not managing to catch Orianna. LeBlanc, though, really great play there. Jump in, get the Orianna, and just come back out to her clone to pick up that kill under the tower. So LeBlanc picks up a kill there, and they both get away alive.
Yeah. I mean, the LeBlanc is making the play. She's obviously a half decent LeBlanc player, and once she starts snowballing with kills, she's currently on 3 kills, and getting ahead of that Orianna, she can start to pick out 1 or 2 champions that she just wants to eliminate from the game.
Yeah,
and
Dragon is actually live here. Sorry, we'll see a little bit of a fight. Janna really caught out here. She's having to ult and flash away in order to survive, and that'll put Nottingham in a great position for this Dragon. Now this is not a position that Swagvicious wanted to be in. They just evened out on gold. Now they're in a position where they really cannot defend this Dragon a lot unless they get a snipe over the wall, which won't happen. Dragon is down for Nottingham, and that gold lead is again 1k gold in their favour.
Yeah, I mean, they've done really well with having that Dragon timer right there. It's a real advantage in order to just take it straight off the map. The Renekton coming down, the Riven's actually being forced back time after time, meaning this Renekton can roam, and that's the problem with Riven. first picking that Riven, insta-locking that Riven, is the fact that, you know, she can be countered, and it's not solo queue. You can't rely on just outplaying them into the late game. The Renekton played it safe, got ahead due to ganks, and now is able to really help out his team, while the Riven is forced to continue to farm it out, having only picked up that Brutalizer.
We'll actually get caught out here as well. LeBlanc actually catching her out. Olaf's there for the backup, and they actually just melt that Riven. So Riven will go down. LeBlanc picking up another kill, so we didn't see her do much in the early game. She is still 70 CS behind, but she has now got 4 kills to the Orianna's 1. So although she hasn't done a lot in lane, she has been really successful on these roams and picked up quite a few kills. She's got the DFG, she's got her Haunting Guys, the double Dorans and the Source Boots, so she is going to be very scary with that burst potential right now.
Yep, and the odd thing that I think about this Riven as well is the fact that she's opted to build the Bloodthirster. An awful lot of Rivens are going for the, not Hurricane, Hydra at the minute, and that's really strong to counter the Renekton push. She could have hit a wave so easily with that.
Yeah, I would have expected a team mat to come out for her, either instead of the Brutalizer or just after the Brutalizer, for that exact reason. When you're a Riven, you either want to pick up a lot of kills and do a lot of damage, be able to roam, pick up kills, but if you are forced by someone like Renekton to stay in lane, you at least want to be able to do some sort of aggression back. So that Tiamat, been able to clear them lanes with the AoE, and the damage from that would have been a very good pick, but she has opted for the damage here, which may not have been the best choice when she is a bit far behind. But we will have to see how that pans out if we do see a 5v5 ever in this game. It does seem like Renekton and Riven are both just living in that top lane at the moment. We do see a few champions now going down towards the bot lane, just walking around Dragon. Again, playing it safe. Gold here is still no massive difference. For 25 minutes in the game, so there'll be less or just now a 2k gold lead. Still anybody's game. LeBlanc actually is going to get caught out by Nocturne here. The fear goes down. She will just dash over the wall to get away. But it's things like that. A single pick in this game could turn the tide completely.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, if you eliminate the LeBlanc, the potential to get a pick, it means that she's not a threat. And Ezreal actually managing to get quite a bit of poke down onto the Corki and the Thresh, stopping that push in the bottom lane that the LeBlanc...
It will actually go into the bot lane, sorry, and he will actually cleanse the hook there. Thresh landing a hook onto Ezreal, he cleansed, and Arcane shifted away. Nocturne now ulting onto Thresh, the Fox going up, but it won't be enough to save his life. Thresh will go down to Nocturne, they're going to carry on against this Corki here. Arcane shift does go down. Sorry, Pulse Fire Barrage, but it does miss. Corki very, very weak. Olaf there to protect him, so Corki actually going to get away. No, she's not. Orianna's going to come in with that ball straight to Corki's face.
Yep, and the Thresh just making that same mistake over and over again. With the long range of that Nocturne ulti, he's constantly being baited by the Ezreal and the Janna, and it's just keeping them in this game right now.
Yes, what we've said all game, that bot lane has really struggled. Mid lane has been successful in them roams, but bot lane not only got out CS but haven't really picked up a lot of kills. Corki hasn't actually got a single kill. He's the only person on Nottingham that hasn't got a kill, and that's not the position you want your AD carry to be in. So we are going to have to see something happen here. It does look like a lot of the teams are rotating to top. Renekton and Orianna having a little bit of poke war. But Orianna is going to win that one against the Renekton, so they're just going to walk away from that. LeBlanc and Olaf joining the fray there, but not much going to happen. They're just going to walk away from that.
Yep, and the LeBlanc's going to be the skater in this right now. If she manages to get a pick on the Ezreal, who's actually looking fairly fed, 230 CS and 3 kills, then it's going to leave Orianna with not a hell of a lot of damage. She hasn't managed to pick up her boots yet, so she hasn't got that magic pen. She has, however, managed to get herself a Rabadon's, and as I said, that she just manages to pick up those boots. So her damage is getting up there right now. The Renekton has opted to build the Randuin's rather than the Spirit Visage. And
the Black actually trying to catch that Riven out, sorry. She will go in with a dash and ignite and walk away with a kill. Another kill on Riven. That's that's the downside when you get so aggressed as a Riven and you still go damage. You've got that Bloodthirster, you've got that Brutalizer, double Dorans, but you don't get in a situation to use that. When you're getting so aggressed, you need some defense, you need something to push your lane. She just melted to LeBlanc there. There was absolutely nothing she could do. A matter of seconds, if that, and she was down to 0 HP and another kill on the LeBlanc.
And it's going to give that LeBlanc the confidence to do that whenever she wants right now. She knows exactly how much damage she's doing versus the Riven and other champions in Swag's team.
Yeah.
And she's just going to choose whichever
Dragon
target
is actually
she wants
going
to
live
pick
in
out
2 seconds. Sorry, we do see the teams going towards Dragon. Ezreal is going to have a little bit of poke there, almost got caught, but will get away from that. Nottingham is engaging the Dragon here. Now Swagvicious have vision of this, but they can't really directly contest this. They will pick up Dragon for Nottingham, but Nocturne will use his ult. They will all go in. The ult's used on Thresh. Thresh is burnt down, but that's not the person that really you want to target. Ezreal's going to go down to the Olaf and the Renekton. Orianna's going to get picked off by the LeBlanc. She gets a really nice ult down, a 5-man ult by Orianna, almost killing LeBlanc actually, but not killing anyone unfortunately. She will get away with her life though, so really nice play there by Orianna to get away.
Yeah, and the Janna actually setting that up there with a great hurricane right there. Hurricane Typhoon, is it?
Yes.
I can't think of her ultimate name, but blowing
it's Monsoon,
LeBlanc back into Monsoon, of course it is Monsoon, blowing LeBlanc back into the team in order for Riven to get that shockwave off. So really well played. Nocturne perhaps a bit aggressive there. He thought he had the Ezreal to back him up, but his whole team was slightly spread and they couldn't quite get the shockwave off early enough for the rest of his team to clean up.
No, definitely, it was a really nice shockwave, but definitely a little bit of miscommunication there. It was a little bit all over the place. They engaged in several different positions, which is not really the thing that you want to do when you have a team that has the ability. You have Olaf that can just charge through any CC you throw at him. You have Renekton who's very tanky and can do the same. LeBlanc's very mobile. Thresh has the CC. It's not something you want to do and just walk into them. That Ezreal melted, as you said. Nocturne thought he had the support. Nocturne got very weak. Ezreal got melted, and then it was just running away. Fortunately, Orianna managed to get away with that really nice ult, but nothing to pick up for the team there. But even saying that, even though we're seeing these team fights go so Nottingham's way, Nottingham are picking up the Dragons, there's still less than a 3k gold lead. There's only a 2.5k gold lead, and that is, if you look towards the bottom, the CS difference is huge. Swagvicious are completely outplaying them in terms of CS and lane.
Yeah, as is the mid lane. You know, Orianna's over 120 CS up on that LeBlanc, so the 5 or 6 kills that LeBlanc has, 6 I believe,
We'll actually see a bit of aggression here. Sorry, the hook does go on to Janna. Janna will get caught out, and Olaf just nukes her down to no health. Now Nottingham can turn on the aggression, and now they can start pressuring quite confidently because they are in the lead. It is 5v4, and they will just start charging up mid now and try and get some pressure under this turret.
And that's the threat of that LeBlanc and the Thresh. Either the LeBlanc manages to catch you in a dodgy position, or the Thresh just manages to get a decent hook. It straight away turns the aggression in Nottingham's favour. Riven's doing a really good job of pushing the top lane right now, and there's a lot of
LeBlanc going really deep there, sorry, to try and kill the Ezreal. Doesn't quite kill it. Another nice pull from Orianna will get the Thresh, but it doesn't, not quite enough to kill him. Riven is trying to get a lot of damage now, but not doing too much. Orianna will go down to Renekton, and they're both now just going to have a little bit of a chicken war. Ezreal and Nocturne not wanting to engage this at all. That's another kill picked up for Nottingham there. LeBlanc actually going back in onto the Ezreal, not getting the kills, doing quite a lot of aggression. In fact, Corki goes in as well. Ezreal will go down, sorry, Corki is going to go down as well. That Corki just dove straight in now. I think he thought Olaf would be there a little bit earlier, but he does get melted by the Ezreal. Ezreal's picked up as well, but at least they've killed that Corki, and that is because he hasn't picked up a lot of kills in CS. LeBlanc again going quite deep here. She may actually get caught. She can dash away, so she will actually get away from that and walk out alive. But that Corki is not very strong at the moment, as we were saying early on in the game. Was shut down in lane. Didn't get much done. Olaf's going to go back in, sorry, onto Nocturne here. Janna does use that Monsoon, but that's not going to work on Olaf at all. Olaf picks up the kill on Nocturne. They could carry on onto Janna, but it looks like they want to play safe here. Riven actually coming from behind, getting the stun on LeBlanc, and actually nukes down LeBlanc straight away. She's going to walk away from that as well. So Riven actually picking up a kill and shutting down LeBlanc there.
Yep, and Riven's actually done a really good job. She was looking quite weak earlier on in this game, but she's split pushed that top really well, forcing the Thresh and the Renekton to take a B to stop her, and then coming in and picking up that kill on the LeBlanc. So the gold's only 2k difference right now.
Yeah, just under 2k, so still really close game, even at 35 minutes. And again, Nottingham have had control of all the objectives, but not in the CS. Riven's actually going to try and 1v1 this Olaf here, which isn't the best idea. She will jump over the wall with that Q, but Renekton and Thresh are there to meet her. The hook does land, the play does land, Ignite's down, and this will be the Riven going down. And looks like there will be a party at Baron now. The Riven started, but definitely will not be a part of Nottingham looking to take this Baron now.
Yeah, and that was a bit of a silly move there from the Riven. She's done so well to keep her team in it, and then to throw it so close to the Baron.
Baron does just go down, sorry, and they're looking at turning this right away back, but they won't actually. The hook misses and they don't get anyone, so that pressure, they try to apply it straight away, but they won't get it. They will walk away with Baron buff and with the gold lead though, so I'm expecting to see a rather big fight happening here.
Yeah, definitely. But that Baron buff is going to be really key. A lot of sustain, which is really what Nottingham have been lacking, and that's going to be really key in order to siege these turrets. As obviously the wave there from Ezreal and Orianna is so strong.
Definitely, especially because of how much farm they've got. They're both sitting at around 300 farm at the moment. Massive amount of farms for both of them. Ezreal as well has got the most kills in the game, joint with Olaf actually. So that's why Corki still hasn't got a kill. He's sitting at 0-3 and 8 right now. He's got his Triforce, he's got that Last Whisper and BF sword. So he's not doing too bad purely because of the objectives they've been getting, but he still hasn't got a kill, and he hasn't had the control that he'd want to in this game in that bot lane.
No, not at all. So you know, the next few minutes going to be really key. How much they're can make out of that Baron buff.
Definitely.
You've got two turrets left. 3 turrets, sorry, left in the bottom lane. So now that the Baron's been taken off the map, to gain some gold, Nottingham perhaps might be wanting to look towards there. Obviously that's straight away about 1.8k gold, 1.6k, sorry, 1.5k.
Quite a lot.
Gold.
Thresh just missing the hook on Orianna there. Actually, Orianna really nearly getting caught out. They do pressure Riven away from the blue buff, and they have complete control. They really need to make something happen while this Baron buff's up. Riven going really deep there. 1v4 though, she's still alive. The Orianna ult does hit. 3-man Orianna ult. Monsoon will go down for a bit of healing. A really nice displacement actually from the Janna, but Riven will go down. Janna will also go down, and Nottingham will walk away from that with this Baron buff still up and regenerating their health straight back up to push towards this inhib.
Yeah, just a lot of summoners also being blown there from Swagvicious, and when you've got a LeBlanc versus you, you want to keep as many of those up as possible. Her cooldown on her ultimate's about 20 seconds, so she has that ability to assassinate you every 20 seconds, fine. She doesn't have that Deathfire grasp up quite so often, but at this stage I don't think she needs it. So we've got them pushing onto this bot lane. The Baron buff about halfway ticked over right
my
now.
mic was muted then for some reason. I was trying to say that there. Corki did go very deep as well. There's that LeBlanc. They didn't manage to get the kill on Ezreal, but it doesn't matter. They're just going to walk under this tower. Clean up Orianna. Ezreal's going to try and do as much poke as he can, but this Baron buff's still there. They're just going to regenerate this health. Riven's coming in with the home guards now onto the Thresh. The box is up. It actually hits them both. They're just going to have to walk away from this. They cannot engage this. Nocturne actually getting some now as well. Spell Shield does work, will get away. Janna and Ezreal very low health. Riven actually doing a lot of damage, but is going to get taken out. Nocturne is going to go as well. So does Janna, and Ezreal's very low in the back. He's just going to go back. In fact, Artesh going in. LeBlanc picking up the kill on Ezreal, but sacrificing himself. But this actually, I would expect the GG here from Nottingham now. That's 5 men down, 20 seconds till respawn. They're just going to take this Nexus. Very close game from both the teams here. Very well played by both teams. but Nottingham having that control of the objectives, having that roam the gang potential a bit more with the LeBlanc and Olaf, managed to shut this game down, and they come away with the win.
Yeah, and that's brilliant from Nottingham. Going in straight away with their initial game in the Super 8 versus the second place team. To pick that win up is huge for their confidence. They're going to think that they can win this thing right here, even at this stage. So the next game is going to be, next few games are going to be really confident plays from Nottingham from now on.
Definitely. So even though they had that sub, this is what I mean. These teams that have just come into the Super, cannot count them out. Swagvicious finished second last tournament, and that was a very close game, but Nottingham getting the edge. So Nottingham, although we haven't seen them before, although they're a new team, very, very strong showing here for the first time that we've seen them on the stream, and definitely a name that the other teams now will look at and say, you know, we need to take these guys seriously. They may have just moved up from the second division, but they obviously have a lot of skill, and they've come away with the win. So very, very good showcase here from Nottingham.
Yeah, definitely. I think we